So I just moved into a new house and I wanted to make a video that's a little more vulnerable than the rest of the stuff that I've been making. It has to do with the experience leading up to me moving into this house and the way that our devices can sometimes unintentionally serve as painful reminders of the past. But before I tell you about my story, I want to tell you about the story of Devi. She's the main character in a Netflix show called Never Have I Ever, created by Mindy Kaling, and something happens to her in the show that really resonated with me. So much so that I wanted to share it with you. Devi is a 16-year-old high school student that's had a particularly rough year. On top of being a little awkward and, a teenager, which is challenging enough, her seemingly healthy father dies of a sudden heart attack. This rocks Devi, and throughout the show it's clear that he's always on her mind, which makes sense. She's repressed the hurt and anguish of losing him, and yet at any moment a small thought can bring him right back to the front of her memory. As the show progresses, even when things are going really well for her, this recent trauma lingers, keeping her from feeling happy or carefree. And in one episode, something happens. She's scrolling on her phone, watching a stupid Instagram story. It's the perfect social media content. A guy from her school trying to eat an entire sandwich in one bite, and she gets a notification. But it isn't a text message or a DM from her friends. It's a memory. The screen reads, "You have a new memory. Dad's birthday." Her phone, without realizing what it did, just sent her a reminder out of the blue about her dead father. Have you ever been hurt by one of these? I have. This moment hit me hard, and I only know a fragment of the pain that comes with this type of notification. I'm recording this video in this house because a couple of years ago, I lost my home to a massive wildfire. One day, the house was there and everything was fine. The next day, I was frantically packing a bag at 5 in the morning after waking up to smoke filling my bedroom. After this happened, I had my share of notifications on my phone reminding me of something that no longer was, just like Devi. A couple of weeks after this happened, I had an "on this day" style notification telling me to look at pictures of a party I had in the house that no longer existed. I quickly turned the feature off, but I found myself faced with reminder after reminder after reminder of my home. I was an early adopter of home automation, and I gleefully installed every smart device that I possibly could inside my house. I replaced the light bulbs and the switches and the plugs with ones that could talk to my phone, and I bought a smart thermostat and a smart lock for good measure. It all burned up. Yet, there was the Home app on my phone trying to communicate with all these devices, and it would show an error message saying, "No accessories responding," which felt like a pretty massive understatement. And behind that error message was a picture of my home, portraying everything as it once was. It was a memory of all the work that I had done. One day, I decided I was done seeing those errors and those memories, and I tapped the edit button, and after a moment hit remove home. That was the button that my phone gave me. And it felt like such a clinical way to describe what I was doing. It was true, but what I was really saying was goodbye home. But my phone didn't know that. All it knew was that I had a memory, or that I took a photo, or that I went to a place. My phone knows that once I had a home, and Devi's phone knows that once she had a dad. The phone hasn't been taught to be curious or sensitive about what happened between the then and the now. And we have no ability to tell it what's changed, which seems challenging because we are, of course, saying goodbye all the time in so many circumstances. We say goodbye to parents like Devi did with her father. We say goodbye to children. We say goodbye to spouses. We say goodbye to old homes, old cities, old roommates, old romantic partners. Even in the best of situations, like moving for a job or leaving your childhood home to go to college, saying goodbye can be really hard. But for now, our phones are just going to keep sending us happy notifications to remind us of our grief. We will get notifications from our Photos apps telling us to remember painful memories. We will get advertisements telling us to continue shopping for the baby we miscarried. We will get Facebook friendiversary announcements telling us to say hello to the dead. Maybe someday technology will understand that these notifications require a lot of nuance, and that the future moves in ways that makes the past painful. Never Have I Ever was the first television show I've ever seen that elegantly highlights this experience, and I appreciated it so much. Until our technology learns about the pain of saying goodbye, I'll keep bracing myself when I click the For You tab in Photos and see On This Day in 2018, reminding me of the home that I once had. And I know that people like Devi will be bracing themselves too.